You guys, this is you before you watch my videos, and this is you after you watch my videos. I like to think. Hello and welcome back. This is my second video now. Very, very exciting. In this week's video, we are going to be discussing more about vaginismus, what it is, more like textbook definition type stuff, things written by actual doctors and certified smart people, and maybe also sharing just some more of my own experiences. But that is going to be today's video, so please enjoy. The first book we are going to be talking about is This Normal? By Dr. Jolene Brighten. This woman is a genius. I adore her. She is so smart. I believe every woman on earth should have this book. It discusses, I'm just going to read this back real quick, anything from hormones, libido, menstrual cycle, orgasms, breast health, acne, sex, discharge, masturbation, and more. It covers everything in like 400 pages. She is so smart. Just put things in great simple terms so everyone can understand, and makes you feel like your body's normal. So I'd like to start with chapter 5 in her book, and if you have it, it is on page 106 is where the chapter starts, and I'm going to be just reading on page 109 under this little section called Why Does Sex Hurt? It talks about vaginismus and vulvodynia, which are two different things. Vaginismus, she says, are involuntary contractions of the vaginal muscles, so that is, your vagina is inside your body, and the vulvodynia is pain around the vulva, which is on the outside. Dr. Brighten does continue to go talk about vulvodynia on page 111, and I am going to read on page 112 under vaginismus. There is a long paragraph here, so bear with me. But it's important. All right, she says, vaginismus. This condition occurs when your vagina muscles involuntarily spasm or squeeze whenever something enters it, like a penis, toy, speculum, or tampon. This pain can be so bad that nothing can enter. Infections can cause vaginismus, as can a history of anxiety or any type of traumatic experience, including sexual abuse. Some women also develop the condition for reasons that doctors don't understand. There's no test for vaginismus. Instead, your provider may feel the muscles tightening up during an exam and use your experience to make the diagnosis. If there is an infection or other condition, like lichen sclerosis, a chronic inflammatory condition that causes an itchy white rash on the genitals, it is important to be treated for that. Mind-body therapies and professional intervention can also help treat vaginismus, including meditation, CBT, trauma recovery, vaginal dilators, vaginal estrogen, if thinning or vaginal dryness is present, and self-massage. Working with a pelvic floor therapist to relax the muscles around your vagina is an important part of treatment. Pelvic floor therapy is what I am going to be discussing in my next video, and the video following that I am going to be talking about vaginal dilators and my experience with those. That is all I have for Is This Normal by Dr. Jolene Brighten. Please, if you are interested in women's health or care about your body, read this book, buy this book, highlight this book, love it, do everything. She is incredible and I very, very highly recommend. Now we are going to talk about Healing Painful Sex by Deborah Cody and Nancy Fish. I have not yet read this entire book. I just looked in the very back for pain with sex, vaginismus, pelvic floor issues. So I have not yet read this entire book, but what I have read so far, it kind of has an opposing view than Jolene did. So I thought it would be kind of good to talk about both points of views, or their opinions or facts. So what I'm seeing is this book mainly talks about more clitoral, nerve, organ, or endometriosis pain, or maybe pain from hormone imbalances. I didn't find too much about vaginismus, but I did find a good paragraph in which I will read to you guys. This paragraph is labeled "Dispelling the Myth of Frigidity." This condition has probably been around for centuries, leading women to be labeled frigid, or more recently, to be given the outdated diagnosis of vaginismus. Named in the mid-19th century, vaginismus was supposed to indicate spasms and clenching of the vagina so that a penis could not enter. Founder of psychoanalysis Sigmund Freud believed the disorder signified women's anxieties about sex and their unwillingness to accept their female nature. Remarkably, the pseudoscientific diagnosis is still being given, and you can still find it even on otherwise reputable medical sites on the internet. We personally believe that what has mistakenly been labeled vaginismus is most often some form of Vestibulodynia, made worse by the muscle dysfunction coming either independently or a stress response to sexual pain. All right, I just looked up Vestibulodynia on just my phone right here. I'll put it right here. But I wanted to get it from a different source than this book because I do not agree with them. And this is what how they define Vestibulodynia. I have such a hard time with this word. I don't know why. Vestibulodynia is chronic pain and discomfort that occurs in the area around the opening of the vagina inside the inner lips of the vulva. This area is known as the vestibule. The pain may occur when the area is touched, when a tampon is used, during sex, during a pelvic exam, when tight clothes are worn, or even when sitting for a long time. In some cases, the area may also be red and inflamed. Vestibulodynia is a specific type or localized form of vulvodynia, chronic pain of the vulva. This pain condition was previously referred to as vulvar vestibulitis, VVS. I'm not even going to try to say that anymore. I don't know. I have mixed emotions. I had never heard of that condition before just now reading this. So it is all very, very new to me, but it sounds more of like, I don't want to say an infection, but more of a vulva issue rather than a pelvic floor muscle issue. Maybe? That's what it sounds like to me. That's my opinion. And finally, I have The Vagina Bible by Dr. Jen Gunter. This is also one of the first books I picked up after finding out I had vaginismus. And it discusses the difference between the vagina, the vulva, everything you need to know about being a woman and having woman parts. It's that simple. She's awesome. She explains things so great in a way everyone can understand, just like Jolene Brighton. I love these books. I love them very much. One thing I will say I really love about Dr. Brighton and Dr. Gunter are they use diagrams in their books. So it helps you see where everything is labeled. I just think that is such a great feature to add to your book, and just wanted to point it out as a thank you. The section I am going to read to you guys is under chapter 39 that says, it's titled, I Have Pain with Sex. The first sentence, you guys, I'm rare-ish. I like to think. I'm trying to be positive about this. It says, pain with vaginal intercourse affects up to 30% of women. Let's go, you guys. Okay, on a serious note. Under that same chapter, I'm on page 338 under the section Pelvic Floor Muscle Spasms. I can't read right now. I apologize. This paragraph states that this is a condition where the pelvic floor muscles that surround the vagina are tightening with penetration. The typical description is a woman feeling too tight or feeling as if she is clenching with penetration. Some women say it feels as if their partner is hitting a roadblock. Yeah. Pelvic floor muscle spasm, or PFMS, can cause insertional pain, deep pain, pain with friction, or all three. The increased friction against the tight muscles can lead to vaginal soreness or burning afterwards, even for a few days. Almost always, the spasm can be identified with a minimal exam. It can even sometimes be visible without touching. Vaginismus can be the only cause of the pain, or it can develop in response to another pain condition, most commonly GSM or Vulvodynia, nerve pain. The part she talks about PFMS was really interesting to me because I had never heard of that before. I've read this book, but I guess I just forgot about it or was too focused on vaginismus this, vaginismus that. So I flipped back to chapter 34, which is on page 297, and it is titled Pelvic Floor Muscle Spasm and Vaginismus. And I am just going to read this quick page. The muscles of the pelvic floor, meaning the muscles that wrap around the vagina, can develop pain conditions due to muscle spasm. The term is pelvic floor muscle spasm, or PFMS, when the muscles are constantly tight, and this can cause vaginal pain, pain with sexual activity, and the urge to empty your bladder. When the muscles contract only in anticipation of penetration, the term is vaginismus, and the only symptom is pain with sexual activity. Vaginismus is considered a type of PFMS. Think of a clenched fist. PFMS is your fist clenched all or most of the time, and vaginismus is clenching only when someone tries to shake your hand. PFMS is understudied. For many years, medicine did not emphasize this as a pain condition. Many doctors ignored the muscle spasm that was obvious on exam or were not taught to recognize it as abnormal. What? Others were taught that this was a psychiatric problem or a woman just being unable to relax. I'm sorry. What? PFMS is also rarely discussed publicly, so when I diagnose a woman with PFMS or vaginismus, it does not surprise me that she has never heard of it before. So true, bestie. I am very, very interested in this pelvic floor muscle spasm that I am reading about, PFMS. I know I've said that a million times, and I'm so sorry. But I might make a video about this because I genuinely have not done enough research to know, and I'm very intrigued by what she has to say about this, and if this is, she said it's a type of vaginismus, so I am curious if I have vaginismus or if I have the pelvic floor muscle spasm. I don't know. Hold on. I'm back. Those are my and my boyfriend are the boo-boos. Are the foo-foos. I don't know if they're real. I felt like making some coffee. So, it sounded nice right now. And my cute little mug my grandma gave me. These are my favorite mugs in the entire world. I'm going to start a collection of them. I already have 3. I love the green one. It was the first one I ever got. And it has nothing to do with this video. Alright, that is it for this video. Hopefully you learned a thing or two or are interested in maybe purchasing one of these books and reading through it in its entirety. I will definitely be using them in future videos. I think they're such a great resource. And yeah, thank you for watching if you watched all the way up until this point, and I will see you in my next video. We are going to discuss my experiences at pelvic floor therapy, and in the video following we'll be discussing vaginal dilators and my experience with those. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye! Vestibulodynia. Vestibulodynia. Vestibulodynia.